Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope everybody had a great weekend. It's the, I guess it's on. This school year is on, it started. I know a lot of times they'll have questions like when we're gonna do, like for our SLO folks, when we're gonna do that pre-test and things like that. I have a date in Aldrin, from Aldrin, it's this month. So just be on standby. Hopefully we'll get it done in the next couple of weeks so we can go ahead and pre-test those students. But what I owe her is a spreadsheet, and I have to send it to her. We'll get that done today of the teachers that will be doing SLOs and the teachers that will be doing, that have the milestone as a measure. Again, if you do SLOs, where in the past you had to do all of your classes, now you only have to do 2 of your classes. I know there are some questions about the 20%. I just don't see how we can do some classes at 20% and some classes not at 20%. So right now, unless I'm told differently, we'll just use it as a growth measure. But we don't need to let the students know. We want them to do the best they can on both the pre and the post test. Also, I'll be sending out, the observations have changed this year. You know, before you did the, I guess it was like the 3 walkthroughs, the 2 formatives, and I guess it was 4 walkthroughs. It was a lot of walkthroughs. 2 formatives, and then you did the summative. Well, they have 2 types. If you're 0 to 3 years, then you have to do it the old-fashioned way with all of the walkthroughs, the formatives, and the summatives. If you're over that, then they have a different version. But what I have to do is I'll put in everybody's box what evaluation model you'll fall up under. If you'll sign it and bring it and turn it back in, that you have been notified which one you fall up under.
Turn into whom?
Say again?
Turn into whom?
Turn it into Ms. Smith. It'll be in your boxes today. You can turn it into Ms. Smith. It'll just say you are under it's 2 letters. One is saying you're under I can't remember, the normal process or the flex. Yeah, the flex observation. The flex observation is basically two observations and then the summative. And the other one is the walkthroughs, the formatives, and then the summatives. But I'll put the letter in your box and it'll explain it a little bit better. So you'll know which one you fall up under.
And you need to turn it by when?
What's today? Monday. I'll put in the box today. If we can have them all back by Wednesday, we'll be fine. It's just real quick. You just look at it, sign it, and turn it in. It's just more of an information thing that we have to do. We also have to start working on our professional learning plans. That's in the TEACS platform. You have to come up with a professional learning plan, but we'll talk about that a little bit more. But if you go into the TEACS platform under professional learning plan, it kind of just spells it out. Just certain questions that you just have to answer as far as what your goals and things are for this school year. You know, as far as Hawk Time, I've sent out the Hawk Time days, and I'm working on the reading strategy days, because I got to look at Hawk Time and make sure your reading strategy day is not on the same day. As far as fine arts and PE is concerned, for you all's Hawk Time, you can just continue doing the reading strategies. As far as fine arts and PE, y'all can just continue doing the reading strategy. Unless y'all feel differently about it. I didn't know.
Well, we're gonna have our day of reading, right?
Right.
So I want that time to be art. I mean, you know, that'll knock me down and everybody else down to 3 days of instruction time. I know it's remediation, it's differentiation and stuff like that, but
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you guys is that for activity classes, your halt time can continue being reading strategies.
I'm saying I want it to be where
Well, you want to be
students are.
data.
Well, I mean, if it means students are still working, and I mean, you know how it is with our classes, every day is differentiation really, but
That's right.
if I would rather them work and not have one more day out for, if I'm gonna have a reading day already anyway.
Right, right,
I would rather do that.
right. So that's what I'm saying.
Continue my classes.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So your halt time is your reading day. Instead of incorporating reading into your
Different days, sorry.
schedule like everybody else has to do, the activity classes, your halt time will be reading.
Okay.
Because in weight training, I mean, you won't have a
That's right.
remediation, or in art, it'd be difficult to do that.
I'm sorry, I was thinking I was gonna have a reading day and a halt time. Okay.
Your halt time will be just a reading day.
Excuse me, okay.
Now, everybody else will have to incorporate their reading into
That's right.
through their content area, and then have a halt time day.
How about math? We were doing the graphs, charts,
Right.
tables,
Yeah,
and
y'all just
problems from GoFar.
Yeah, y'all just incorporate that somewhere into your regular lesson plans somewhere.
Okay, so as long as on halt time, we're either remediating, differentiating, or accelerating through those
Right.
problems, we're okay.
Yeah, just following that halt time form that I sent you. The main thing is, and the biggest thing this year, we have to focus more on what I call our red kids. Our kids is not getting it. Our achievement score this year was 29%. And I always use this example. When you go to those more affluent schools, I always say like Alpharetta or somewhere like that, you have more kids, you have more non-red kids, and those kids, there's enough of those kids to carry those schools as far as their achievement scores. And then their red kids are very low. Where ours, with our demographic, we're just the opposite. We have a lot of red kids, and our proficient or distinguished kids, there's just not enough of them to carry us to where our achievement scores are where they are. So we're just the opposite. So we have to start paying attention and remediating and making sure and differentiating and making sure that we get those kids' scores up to where they need to be. And quite frankly, when you look at we're saying we're differentiation, we're saying we're doing this, and we're saying we're doing that, but when you look at the stuff at the end of the year, it's not reflecting it. So now we have to make sure that we pay attention and make sure that we're all doing what we need to do to get those kids where they need to be. Is it a challenge? Yes, it is. But we don't need the state to come in here. We don't need to be a alternative school district, for that to happen. That's something that we can do. That's something that we can pay attention to and do on our own. So we just have to kind of understand that that's what we have to do, and we'll make sure that that's happening. Any questions or concerns from your departments or anything?
What are emergency lesson plans do?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember because we read it in the handbook.
I think it's Friday.
Yeah, I think it's like Friday or something like that.
But is, Ms. Parker had them last year, and they said they couldn't get into that filing cabinet, somebody
Well,
had
they
broken
didn't-
the lock or whatever.
Yeah, they can give them to,
I didn't know it, we just kinda wanted to look at them and reevaluate. Is Ms. Sheldrick now gonna hold them?
she's saying she can't get into the file cabinet?
That's what they told Ms. Ferris last week.
Oh, we can get in there.
Get Mr. Smith, he's real good at getting in those things.
We can get into a file cabinet. We
I
ain't
mean, I don't know if they've done it now, but I know
Right.
back when Ms. Ferris asked about it, said it was, somebody had tried to get into it when it was locked, and
So y'all need your plans from last year?
we just wanna look at them and
Right,
see
right.
what, if we need to adjust them
Right,
or
right.
do whatever.
Okay, yeah, we can get into a file
But
cabinet.
they were all up there
Okay.
in that Ms. Parker's file.
Okay.
That now I guess is Ms. Sheldrick's.
Okay, I'll check and make sure that they can get into there.
Give them the who?
Yes, ma'am.
And I just want to, if you'll tell your departments, we have 60-plus kids with IEPs that we're going to have to meet on this year. And Dr. Gray, I hope you reiterate this, that they do attend those meetings and bring the information and be a part of developing this plan for those kids. And you may have an invitation to a meeting of a kid that you don't teach if they're at the alternative school, but please come because we have to have someone in that course content to be there.
So we,
Are those,
go ahead.
I was, are those gonna be in the morning, afternoon, or?
Morning and afternoon.
Okay.
That's why we did that. We did that for in the morning, either before school or after school, to allow the teachers to come. Because what was happening, I guess in the past, we wasn't careful. We pulling teachers out, and like you said, some of them didn't even have the student. So we want to give, make sure we're giving correct information. I know the Andrews boy, I saw him at the end of the day, Friday, he had a good day. Of course, we'll do that a day at a time, and we're all aware of what we need to do with him. Don't tell your teacher, don't worry about making him fill out a pass. If he said he needs to go, just tell him to go ahead. Don't worry about, go to your book. Just let him go. Any other concerns? I know we're going through schedule changes this week, so your classes will still go up and down, and then next week we'll start looking at registering these students for Schoology.
Do we know yet when the first SRI will be given?
It's in a couple. Let me get with Audrey because she has a
Okay.
calendar.
Okay.
But we do need to go ahead and do that because I know we have some kids that's in the reading enrichment classes that's looking forward to taking that first SRI to try. Well, it's RI now, isn't it?
Yeah.
To try to
Get out.
get out. Well, like I told them, you got to be proficient. We're trying to get kids to proficient. Okay. All right. Anything else? So just be looking for the evaluation type that you'll be. One of them is flex, and the other one is process or something like that. But if you're been here a while, you'll be under the flex model, and we'll get out who's. And we'll get out what administrators will be doing evaluations for who. So we'll get that out as well. All right, any questions? You have any concerns from the English department?
First of all, y'all, pre-K was a nightmare. I hope, does it get better? Is all I know.
We got several. We got to walk them in the first
I
couple
thought I had
weeks.
a walking breakfast.
That's okay.
Mommy, I was like,
That's
I
okay.
thought it was just, lesson plans this weekend, I don't know, y'all may have talked about that, was a little rough. And it may just be the first time, and I'm thinking it's gonna be just the first time. I got a lot of email, text messages about, people trying to do lesson plans. Did y'all? Yeah.
They were long. It took a lot longer to do than normal.
Well,
But,
we need-
I mean, it's just a different style.
Yeah,
And I think it's just
We're
the
not
first
used
time
to.
thing, but having a couple classes, that was kind of rough.
Yeah. And we need the detail to that level.
Yeah.
Now you should be able to take that lesson plan and look at it, and that should be your framework.
Well, some had some problems with Dropbox from home and stuff like that.
Oh, we
so
can get that taken care
I
of.
think it's just a few kinks, but
Right.
other than that, that's really the only
But the
thing.
good thing about that new format is when you go to do your board, when you look at that lesson plan, because it is in that level of detail, you should be able to look at that lesson plan. You should use that to fill out your board as far as your standard base board. As far as that should be, because you're specifically talking about what it is that you're teaching that week as far as your standards are concerned. I know you all are going to start working on your pacing guides if you haven't already. Please look at those strands and see where, breaking down where you need to spend the most time. You know, they'll talk about the percentages and things like that as far as what percentage of what domain is in the, it's going to be on the milestone. When you start looking at that stuff too. Just making sure that we're following that. I know the IELTS have that road to the milestone, and I know they'll start working on that as far as pacing guides and everything is concerned. All right, anything else?
Just real quick, I guess I'm the only one, the lesson plan, like the opening, I mean, every day should be Rod standard, right? I mean, is that?
That's not, well, that's
I mean,
kind
you have a
of,
warm up, but opening, when you come in, I mean, you may spend 5-10 minutes going over standard looking at vocabulary every day. I mean, am I wrong for putting that for every day?
say that again?
You got your warm up, your opening, your work session, your closing. I mean, like every day, my opening, the kids are gonna do their warm up when they come into class.
Right.
And then I go into my opening. My opening is pretty much looking at the standard. What are we doing today? What's our learning goals? What's our,
Yeah, prior knowledge. It's
Yeah.
more than just raw time standard though.
But I mean,
that could be part of your opening. But your opening is more, it could be, I looked at, my ticket out the doors, and your warmers can be whatever your ticket out the door told you. Then your opening is gonna have to be some type of prior knowledge, based on what it is you're going into. It's a variety of things. Now, raw time, your standard is certainly one of them, but that's just quick.
But we're supposed to do that every day, right?
Yeah, that's just quick, and then when you pull those vocabulary words out of your standard, then that's going to help you as well. Directional, and I forgot what the other one is. Content, and that's where that's going to help you ride time as well. But the biggest thing, like you said, is those kids knowing. But your opening is going to be a little bit more than just ride time standard. But it's new. We're going to work with it until we get it right. Some teachers are sending it on to Ms. Ingram and letting her look at it to see if it's where it needs to be. You can do that, or if it needs to be adjusted, we'll certainly let you know. We know all common collaborative planning days on Fridays for everybody. And then Mondays will be days when we'll come in and y'all will just kind of tell us what went on during the week. On the briefings, it's going to be kind of questions I'm going to ask is where you are, what you did, what students had trouble with what are your ticket out the doors, let me see your ticket out the doors, what is your data telling you, what did you do for those kids that are not getting it. It's going to be those kind of questions. And not just questions. You're going to have to be able to show it to me. You're going to be able to talk it. You're going to have to be able to talk it. Well, this week, we went over whatever. Here are the kids that didn't get it on Hawk Time or whatever. We did this. Ticket out the doors. We've got the bell in there for ticket out the doors. As far as kids packing up, is how you started. You got to get them used to, and that's just a 10-minute bell, just telling you there's 10 minutes in the class. You need to be starting to look at your closing and whatever your ticket out the door is going to be based on that day's lesson. Okay.
You coming today?
No, I won't be today. I'll give you a week. So I'll be next week. Yeah, I give you time to get started. All right, thank you. Y'all have a great